Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll do a new video. I'm gonna be showing you how you can create cursor rules. So by the end of the video, you will be able to tell Cursor exactly what are your coding standards and what you want him to implement each time you do an operation. So let's say you have a function and you ask him create a function to, I don't know, sign in a user. You can tell him use camel case, so uppercase letters and starting, and the second word inside the same function name. This is something you could do with just telling Cursor how to do it. So one thing I will tell you is first you need to install Cursor, as you might have realized, and then after that what you want to do is simply start creating rules. So first thing you want to do is create the cursor directory. So this directory basically tells Cursor to do specific operations. So in the past we've seen that we wanted to use the MCP function. So the MCP was basically a way you could link up your Supabase to your Cursor. This time what we'll be interested in is the rules folder, which is going to appear under .cursor. So one thing you can do to create a new rule from scratch is basically just do on Windows Control-Shift-P, and you'll be able to access basically the new cursor rule function. So just type cursor rule just like that, and then you can click new cursor rule, and you can name it however you want. So let's say global rules, and then let's zoom out a bit. What we have here is basically the file, which is our new rule that just appeared here. It's using the .mdc file format, which is basically a format singular to Cursor. And in here you can put basically the rules you want to implement for Cursor to read each time you basically ask him to do something. So in this case, we can select a few things. So one thing we'll select is when the rule type applies. So this is really important. So basically, once you do a query, you want to make sure that the specific rule file applies to the specific query, but you have the choice to either use it the same one every time, so this will be always. Then auto attaches, Cursor will auto infer, should I use this rule set or should I use this rule set? So this is to your own risk, depends on what Cursor thinks of it. And then agent request, also the same thing, but instead of this, it's the agent that decides. And then you have manual, which would basically just be using the context in the cursor rules section and just selecting the rule right there. So this is something you can do if you know your rules by heart. Um, but for myself, what I did for my own project is I basically selected always. And basically once you do Control K or add a command to the chat, it's gonna use this rule set each time. So let me show you what I did for my own basically project guidelines, and I'll show you why I did it, and I explain to you how you can do the same for yours. So for myself, what I did is I basically told him you are an expert in TypeScript, Next.js, App Router, React, Daisy UI, Supabase, and Tailwind. The reason I told him this is that's what I'm using and that's what he understands, right? So if you are using Django or you're using something else like V or Vue.js, whatever, you can tell him, because this is a system prompt that Cursor takes into account when he basically starts his LLM and start the inference for your code generation. Um, One thing I also found that really works well is telling him what's the structure of the project. So in terms of what are the different folders inside my app. So first off, I start with the app directory. I tell him it contains all the routers of the project. So this will be the directories that basically are accessible inside my app via a HTTP request, so that he understands this. And then you can also use the levels in markdown format. So this is going to be a H2 equivalent in HTML, and then H3. So I did also the same thing for components. So I told him it contains all the components used in this project. I want you to retain the naming convention as upper camel case. So in this case, it's gonna be the every word is basically gonna be uppercase, but then between is gonna be lowercase. So better icon, better checkout, button bounty, button account. You get the point. So this was my first naming convention. So this is really great if you want to make sure that when they create new basically component files, it keeps the same structure. You can also specify that all new created components need to be placed there, because something I was encountering in the past is sometimes when I asked to create a component, they would put it at the page level, so at this level, which I don't want. I want everything to be in the components directory. And then you can tell also the public, so slash public contains all the public assets such as images. And then you have also libraries. So for myself, I use resend for sending emails. So I told him under libs slash email, it contains all the resend utility files for sending emails. Lib Supabase, so contains Supabase client, middleware, server export. So no, not here, just right here. If I go here, I have my 3 files. I also told him that each time he's gonna query the database, the Supabase database, I want him to basically create one file per table. So if you look, I have a table called branding, messages, profile, questions. Then I will segregate basically the operations of each table into each different file, so it helps me keep track. And I always want to use userver, which is very important because a lot of times they're gonna do the queries from the client side, which is not what I want. And then project guidelines, code style and structure. So I told him write concise technical TypeScript code with accurate examples, so very basic stuff. Functional declarative programming patterns, avoid classes, use descriptive variable names with auxiliary verbs, so is loading as error. So basic just programming stuff that I made. um, I'll be sharing this resource in my Discord server, so if you want it, you can go into the Discord server, the free Discord server down in the description, where you can join, and I'll put this document there. And then after that, naming convention, use lowercase with dashes for directories. So let's say you have a specific component that has, like UI, let's say. This is one where if you're using ShadCN, it will be component slash UI slash the components, TypeScript usage and stuff like that. And there's a lot of stuff you can do. Obviously, I'm not gonna go through everything. Also did some stuff for Supabase, how to use Supabase. The each table should have a Unix file. That's what I was talking about. Then the types to use. So always use table types like the following. Let me read it there. So yeah, this is basically how it's done. And basically, once you do this, Cursor after that is gonna know that this is your rule set for your global program. And then, as I said, you have many options to use run rule set for a specific operation, basically depending on what your need is. But I found that that's the best way for me for it to work. So if you have any other question, feel free to ask them inside the Discord server that I'll be linking in the description or in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one.